Alright, hello, welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3. Now then, we're about to try and do something silly. And something that probably won't work, I'm going to be honest with you. But hey, there we go. Hello, sup, hey long. We're going to fail miserably. That's what we're going to do today.
Premium trinkets and doodads.
Yep, good for you.
Laid at the ready.
I'm going to warn you. I'm invisible. Your volumes call the night is a 20. Yeah, that's actually quite short.
We don't want any surprises. Yes, Mom.
Yes, Mom. Have any... So we've got a door here. Right, all of you get up here. Because we need to defeat everyone that's coming in. Good enemy among us, so it said that shot. Oh well. Well, would you rather it be short and good or long and overdrawn? That's the question. I've not been in the upstairs here yet, so we're going to go in there first because I've just realised that it exists. Are you fucking stupid? Cough, cough, love after blood domination. I don't know what that is, so but I do know the pain. There's a hole here. Just a hole. There's not much else here. I don't care that much. Right, go on then. Oh. Why are you automatically trying to attack it? I want you to drag it. There we go. Yeah, we're bringing this bitch with us. Why are we... I'm glad. Can I take this? Why am I trying to attack everything? What's... Did I push a button that made that happen? There you go. Let's get rid of that. Thank goodness. I can't take that torch. Annoying. It's not my favourite part, but it's alright. Keep going. Come on. My goodness, this UI. It can be a bit annoying depending on what you're actually reading on. It's built for PC, I think. Although even then, sometimes depending on what size setting you're using, it can be very annoying. What about candles? Oh, I can move the candlestick. That'll do. Always in descending order. Ah, yes. No, that is bollocks. You can. There is a button that switches it. Not automatically though. It's like a. You have to click it every time. Oh, let's be honest. No, but it's good if it's like something you're reading that's got like several hundred chapters, then you know it can be useful. Because you don't want to have to like scuff the button. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Right, I want to. Can I move? Alright, I can move this chair. I need more furniture. Another chair. Lock this door completely. It might be, but if there is a official English translation, then it might have been pulled. Right, if I tell you to go through there, can you walk through this? Oh my god, you can. That's bollocks. That's not what I wanted. Alright, get in here. I want to move the wardrobe. No, okay, here. 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 Now, if I tell you to go here, can you move through it? No. Good. That's what I want. I'm going to close this door.
Simple enough.
Why are you in the wardrobe, sir? Just put the chair against. Can I move the bed? No. It might have an entry on it, but no actual chapters. Oh well, it'll probably have chapters, but not in English, if it's got an official translation. Oh, are they? Oh, there you go.
Open up.
Sure. Somebody can't turn this. You can't lift it because it's too tall, so you can't move it. You can't drag things across the floor. Oh my god. Sure, whatever. Right, okay. Let's try this. This is gonna go terribly, but let's give it a go. There's a creepy nuts song when I got into the creepy nuts made all the songs with it. Fair enough. How nice of them.
The true soul who's going to save us all. I'm Isabel. Pleased to meet myself. Free. It's almost too good to be true. It hurts.
They're all bangers. Good.
It'll make you immune. It won't be enough to protect you against the areas of utter darkness, though, where the curse is strongest. This land, Catherick, while you're busy in the...
Right, okay. Boom, boom.
Marcus! Is the...
Oh, I can't. Oh, wait, yes, I can.
You can be too.
Right, you? Because I can just do this shit. Come set over here.
Salutations.
You come set up.
Horizons.
What are we doing, guys? Okay, hang on. Group.
Help me. Set me free.
Where's he gone? Where is the enemy? That is a question.
Won't you help me? Set me free.
They're already talking as if the battle has started.
Oh, I have the magic touch.
Hold on then. Yeah, who is saying that?
Premium trinkets and doodads.
I think it is meant to be. It's weird. You'd think it'd be Maul, but I don't know where Maul ends up. Right, okay, here we go.
True soul, my instructions are clear. Take the girl to Ketherick alive.
What's going on? If you have something to say, say it.
Pathetic.
The apps, you can't...
Time to...
Alright then. Still stupid. In they come through the hole in the roof. That's just up there. Right, okay, we need to get him. We've rolled relatively well. The enemy is surprised, somehow. Right, okay, can I... How much damage can I do to him?
Won't you help me? Set me free.
You sent a meme. You sent a... Maybe... Oh.
Won't you help me? Set me free.
Quoi? What just happened? Where?
Me oh my, oh my oh me.
Oh, look at it. It doesn't play... But it doesn't play sounds, mate. My shit. Right. Yeah, we're threatened, unfortunately. We can't do that. Remember, the prototype guts is Romanian. Okay. Oh no, because he fights Vlad, doesn't he? He fights fucking Dracula
Me oh my, oh my.
in the prototype. Dragosta Dinte? I don't know. Fuck it, just whack him. Just beat the shit out of him, for fuck's sake. Come on. Can I make it hurt more? 10 damage. Not bad. Sure, I'll do it again. The Numa. Numa. I remember. People seem to forget. That wasn't just like a meme song. That song was fucking huge for some goddamn reason.
Won't you help me set me free?
Quick save after every single attack. Make sure that we do damage. No, we do damage. Because it's a bang. It's like the Macarena or the Cha-Cha slide. Go on, get him. Nice. This one's a cringe. I'm sorry. They're all the same. Right, we're gonna bite him. Go on, bite him. No. How did you fucking miss? Talk about cheating. Okay. I mean, I don't understand what any of them are. Except for the Cha-Cha slide, obviously. That's it, genuine. There's a lot of songs like that. I feel like there's a commonality between that song and a lot of other songs. That pop, there's that like fucking disco, what 2000s pop or whatever the fuck it was, techno whatever the fuck of Hey Baby, which is massively popular in British pubs.
Won't you help me?
Yeah, hit him. And then got a really shit initiative. Oh, right.
Can't even catch my breath.
Mambo number 5, yeah. There's that one.
Won't you help me?
Come along, Isabel.
Ow! Prick. Gotta hit it.
Won't you help me set me free?
Damage. Critical miss. Fuck you, you little piece of shit. These were the Dragon's Day, didn't I can enjoy it somewhat by that song? No. It's got a nice beat.
Won't you help me set me free?
You piece of shit. Hit him. Shape of humans. No.
Won't you help me set me free?
Oh my god. Stop fucking missing. You know what drinking game would absolutely annihilate me? Have a sip every single time you quick load. It'd kill me. Destroy me.
Won't you help me set me free?
I mean, I don't listen to any of his songs. I haven't listened to an actual pop song since, like, 2010, so...
This is my time.
You can tell me anything about it, it doesn't mean shit to me.
Fine,
Come on, we can find a spot to hit him. I think that'll hit him, but not us. Two of them sweet songs. Hey, that did damage. Nicely done. Yeah, flourish as well. Go on, get him. Missed. Stupid little piece of shit. You see the diabetes type song. Here they come. Well, dash on winged horror. Fly. Are they? I don't know what's going on. Whoa, Roland's nearly fucking dead. Who's Roland? Wait, no, he's the magic guy. He never healed. Roland never healed from being outside. Get his shit rocked.
You'll make excellent fertilizer.
Okay. That did quite a bit of damage to all of them parked outside. In fact, I think he killed one. Nice. Oh, they're undead. Ah. Thank you, Bo, for your input. They're gonna fuck that one up. He's gonna get absolutely clobbered. Alright, my turn. Now we can kill him quite quickly, I think. He's gonna die. Right, okay, hang on. Can we? If we blast that there, that should hit him, but no one else. Is he not burning? He is. Is it something I put on him? Yeah, can you just not wear those then? There you go.
I'm ready.
Right. I think we just whack him with a maximum one of these and see what happens. Come on, you can do it. 50%. We can do this. Kill him. Oh, he's got 1 health left. That'll do. That'll do for me. Heal this dumb bitch. And then it'll be my turn before it's his turn and we'll kill him. Excuse me? Ooh. Oh, they're hitting her. Come on, guys.
Your penance will be paid now.
It's fine, because I can kill him. Actually, you know what I can do? We do that, whack up that. 1 on you, that kills him. 1 on that one, that kills him. And then those 2. Nice.
I don't care if IT makes you unmotivated, Virgil. Put on the Macarena, Nero Dante, son of Sparta.
No. It comes on the radio. Virgil just sits there, scoffs and rolls his eyes. Nero watches as Dante fucking does it. Nero sat there like, what the fuck is this song? Nero doesn't know what it is. Alright, okay. We've done quite well. It was like Joe Skate. Okay, we've actually done very well. There's not many of them left. Can you open doors? You can't actually open doors though, can you? We can go to him. He's gonna die. That one's gonna die. There's only the 3 of them left. Holy shit. Not bad at all. Right, I want to go onto the roof. The songs in general. It is her! It's just some bitch. Right, okay. Yeah, just stay there. Ooh, nice though. Fuck, okay. We open the door, but we can't actually get there. Okay, hang on, go here. Yes, you can reach. Go on, reach him. Hit the bitch. Nice. Oh, he's coming straight for her. Okay. Oh, so is he. Ah, but he missed. They're all converging on me. Please do not use area of effect attacks on me. Well, not thank you for it. Yeah, they're all chasing them around the place, but they can't reach him. Because they're all coming at me. He raged, ran for 2 turns, and did nothing. Oh, so worried she was going to kill me then. Where are you going? Oh. Ah, good. Ow. Oh yeah, that's the burning. Alright, so... Shot. Maybe we should have just tried to kill one of them. Oh, well.
Concentrate.
Purpose after getting a Murray Funnels tonight. It's going to be very funny by some amount of time.
This'll dampen the pain.
There we go. Have you got a ranged weapon? That'll be a good time? No? Okay. Go on, shoot him. Nice! There's only one left now. And he's running away. He's... Oh. That's gonna be my turn, then the imp can go get it. The imp will be able to hit it. I don't know if I'll be able to hit it, although mind you. Can I? How far can I get? Yeah, go there.
The gods are watching me.
Ah! Get fucked. There we go.
Parasite. Collect it. It might be useful. Isabel, are you alright?
We won!
Fine. Marcus has been with us since the start. They've been tracking us this whole time. And that was no random attack. You were the target, Isabel. They know how important you are. But they don't know about you.
I think they do.
Ketherick will strike again. We need you to strike first. Discover the source of his invulnerability. Make him mortal so we can make him bleed. Good luck.
We're in more danger than I knew. If something happens to me, everyone in this inn is dead. Like that.
I can't see you doing your little things.
Why does a man like him do anything? Power, spite, some kind of twisted personal morality. I can understand why he'd want me dead. Without me keeping the curse at bay, everyone in this inn, everyone intent on killing him, is dead too. As for why he'd want to take me now that we have you, I hope I won't have to. No mercy. For Ketherick will have...
Alright then, we've all been blessed. I think that means we can go outside into the dark without needing the thing, but the lantern will help us get through the really thick area. And we'll level up. Ooh, we can have a spell. Close the door containing with a magical lock. It can no longer be opened by lockpicked or open with knock. Oh, you see, that would have been really good in the battle we just did. Certain creatures while not talking to them. I've got that automatically, I think. Web could be good. I don't know, because I could use web on the ground and then jump down to it. Don't know. You see, I don't think that'll be any good anymore. Really? I don't know. God, I guess fuck it, that'll do. I don't think he's got an area of effect attack, so that'll be good. Strength. Next. What's this? Initiative. Ooh. Boost my initiative. What about Constitution? Nothing. Intelligence? Dexterity then. Gives me better initiative. I think. Yep. Next. Spells. Banishment, because I've just learned that that's actually very useful, because we could have used it on him and he'd just be fucked off. Ice Storm, that's what she was using. Phantasmal Killer. Maybe not. Summerzuki Boogie. Wall of Fire. Animate Dead. We could have another one, another animated, another person animating the dead. It's not a bad idea. Wall of Fire did very well though. What a Wall of Fire. Yoda gets the win, Yoda Mage Armor. Well, what one? Oh, no, we got that one here. Good Charm. Blight. Good Flight. Like that. Yeah. There we go. And the feet. Alert. We'll go with alert. Because that way he doesn't get surprised either. Which I like. What's this? Divine Strike Poison. 1d8 poison. Once per turn. In addition to your... Okay. Okay. Beacon of Hope. Remove Curse. Glyph of Warding. Wait on. Oh, she's also got Banishment. That's not bad, actually. She can also naturally speak with dead. No, we'll leave that with Will. Death Ward. Guardian of Faith. Ah! Okay, feats. Alert. Everyone gets alert. Fuck it. Spells. You get banishment as well. Everyone gets banishment. We'll give him Blight. He's more likely to get up in the face, I think. Although, mind you. Yeah, you can have Blight, fuck it. Actually, no, he gets them every single short rest, doesn't he? So yeah, we'll have to leave that. And you get alert too. Look at that. Woohoo! There we go.
What's inside?
Why is he still making that noise? Great Club. Shifting Corpus Ring. Ooh, don't mind that. And then half plate armor. Okay, someone's still... It can't be then, can it? Where did Mole go?
Won't you help me? Set me free.
I'm so confused.
On with you. Unless you want to come back to a gaggle of shadow-cursed harpers. I know we won't. Go on, then. It belongs to the goddess Shard. According to the Harpet, I suppose they didn't defeat him quite hard enough. Moon and shadow. Light and dark. Divine sister. Sometimes life forces us to choose sides. Luckily, sometimes the choices are...
Right, I don't think the winged horrors have anything on them much. Okay, where the fuck is Mole? That must be Mole. But she's somewhere and I've got no fucking idea where. Yeeted onto the roof. Is it coming from me? Why? What the fuck?
Alright, what now?
I'm so confused.
A bust of Ketheric Thorm as he once was, a devotee of Selûne.
It's coming from in here somewhere. What the fuck is going on? I'm looking it up because something seems very wrong. Okay. BG3. Oh me, oh my. Oh, it's the pixie. Okay. Makes some sort of sense then. Hang on. She must have given it to me. Hang on. Moonlight. Okay, hang on. There we go.
Maybe we should ask someone else.
Lantern gives off a chilly glow, protecting all in its vicinity from the surrounding shadows. You notice a tiny pixie trapped within. These fey creatures are infamous for their trickery.
Ooh.
Sometimes playful, sometimes malicious.
Oh please, oh golly, me oh my. You must release me or I'll die.
It's not actually
Only likes
attached
me,
anyway.
I am hurting night and day. My name is Dolly Thrice. Now won't you free me from this vice? It would be my pleasure, truly. Once I'm freed, I'll help you duly. I dare not name it, newfound friend. The faintest touch could spell my end.
Which was your weapons?
Son of a... No! Stop, please! Takes my light to protect from the curse. I'll gut you like a 10-day-old if you don't release me right this moment! If you prefer the kinder type, I'll sweetly slurp your guts like tripe.
I think the noise there came a bit wrong.
You rat! Now I've got glass stuck in my loaf!
Loaf.
Least I'm out of that box. I'd pin that push-shitting Dryder's tongue to his nose. I ought to sink my teeth into your softs for messing around. But all this fresh... Sure I can. Yeah, sure, why not?
Hang on then. Let's do it nicely. I just want to see what happened. I don't know. What's kind of touched. He just turned the thing and she screams. I suppose it's not strange.
Damn it, newfound friend. The faintest
The
touch
pixie.
could spell my end.
Looks like a pixie doll. Mad pixie doll. What are they called? I don't fucking know anymore. I've lost the plot.
Finally! Been trapped in that coffin with no one but a mad rider and my own farts for company.
Oh.
Did me a good turn there, didn't you? What do I owe you? Sure I can, but will I? Yeah, sure, why not? Here, give this bellish protection from the shadow curse. You're welcome.
Curious little thing.
Yeah, I don't trust this at all. Is it Bell?
Been blessed already, haven't you? Move on with your life.
No, because I can't get through like the
Ask someone else.
to a protective Pixie's protective. Right, what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna run over there. Run directly into. Oh no, I didn't need to go there at all. There's a much better place. We can try directly into that house because that's a bad place as well. It's closer. Just in there. Lost condition surprised.
Another step forward.
Hey, it's not hurt us. Yeah. No, well done. Alright then. Sweet.
What's in here?
Skeleton. There's a skeleton in here. The gold ring. Another gold ring. And an opulent chest.
Wonder
Which
what
is
caused
locked.
this.
Oh dear. Sweet. Can she not... Did I get rid of her ability to help me? Sure. Yeah, you have that. Shut up.
What am I to do?
I didn't get rid of your ability to give me a hand, did I? Guidance. No. That's weird then. Just didn't work.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times. Best be on my way.
I can now sneak real good. What if I mentioned to them? Oh, by the way, I let the pixie out of the box. Will they be happy with me? Or annoyed?
Deep sight narrows at nighttime. 2 steps in, and you're likely to become some dagger's new sheath.
Why the fuck are you climbing around in the fountain, you bunch of fucking idiots?
Out of your way as soon as I'm finished.
Right then. Let's go talk to her again. I just want to see what she says. I've let the pixie up. Dixie chick.
Don't let Jahira catch you dawdling. Go on then.
No, don't. None of that. Okay. Anyone? Anyone at all? Another bore.
We'll keep an eye on Isabel.
You weren't going to before. You were going to fail tremendously.
I know, but we need a plan.
I'll be honest. Didn't
Yeah, how long does this last, by the way? Is it permanent? I mean, it doesn't say that it runs out on a long rest. I should probably check before I do anything else. doesn't go away on a short rest.
Why don't we ask Jahir?
Yeah, very quickly do a long rest. I don't care. Just skip. Just see if it goes away. If it doesn't, then we're good. It hasn't. Right, that's fine then. Because what that means is we don't have to hold the light. Although, what that does mean is if we find someone and we haven't... Oh, we may need to find another lantern. Oh, fuck's sake. No, that one, thank you. When I do a quick load game, I want to load the quick save. Okay, I'm changing the last power of Jack. Okay. There we go. What are we changing it to?
Why don't we ask Jahir?
Straight up time stop, fair enough.
Because she did a great job protecting Mol.
Maybe we should ask someone else.
Alright, you idiots, what have you done?
Who? No one cares. Mol would do the same for any of us. You. How do we get into
We could. I beat up those harpies, and they're way scarier than shadows.
You know what Mol would hate more than anything? You've seen what's out there. We wouldn't stand it, but
It's our job to bring Mol.
look at him. He's a proper adventurer.
Fine. But you.
Right, Joe.
Mol can be cranky and mean, but she looks after us. So stock up, all right?
We need Mol.
Okay. No, don't go back upstairs.
Lies before me.
Wait, why can't your second stab stop is limitless? Oh.
Is anyone keeping an eye on those?
They took Mol. I couldn't.
He finds a door and he can't get through it. It's like, damn it, my one weakness.
I just.
Yes, yes, you saved me from shadow creatures. I'm fine.
Right then.
Good work rooting out.
Rooting out the... Oh
Watch
yeah,
your back out there.
I read that if you don't save the kids, if you don't save the tieflings, then it's actually him. He'll already be here and he'll tell them, he'll vouch for you, so you come in. As opposed to, showing up, flying. So, we didn't get that through.
What now? No! And pestering the crop.
I'm sorry. Calm down.
Watch your back out there.
Watches are kind of overused for that kind of thing because it's time and it's related to watches. Oh dear, just go full Persona. Just have him shoot himself in the head. Yeah, literally have it be an ability that activates when he's on the cusp of death. Like he's literally about to die. So if he puts a gun to his head and pulls the trigger, time stops. Don't forget. Have him realise it after almost being killed multiple times, but have it like an actual time limit on the thing where it only it's sort of like time stops, but it's like it's being held back by like a spring, and there's an amount of time until the spring snaps and time just goes. Boom. Actually, that could be a thing. You could have it so that for a few seconds after time restarts, he is slower, but everyone's acting as if he was where he was, and they have to react to what he did during time stop.
First cultists nearly murder us, and now we have a traitor on the inside. I know.
Traitors among us. A child taken. And still I can only feel relief. Agreed. I trust that you will. Then speak. Ugh, some... They have me slaying gods, or laying with them, depending on the bard.
So we get another third on height of them. I mean, you have to work out how the time stop's going to work as well. Like, because the one with the JoJo's is actually quite... It makes a lot of sense. When Dio throws something, the second he lets it go, it has the speed that he lets it go at, and it does move a little bit, but then when time restarts, then it stops once it leaves him. But then when time restarts, the things move at the speed at which he threw them as if he was still moving within time. If that makes sense. It's not because, obviously, if time has stopped and you move something, that thing has moved infinitely fast. It's like the Flash versus A-Train thing. The Flash has like the Speed Force, so if he grabs you and runs off with you, you're now tangled up in the Speed Force and you are also moving along with the Flash, and it doesn't really make a difference to you. Like, you are sort of experiencing it. You are fine. Whereas in like The Boys, A-Train just slams into someone and they just explode. Sort of the difference between that. Because technically speaking, if you're operating outside of time, like putting aside the whole I can still see thing, because that doesn't make any sense, and it never will. If you like moved your hand through a solid object, assuming of course that your body is impervious to damage in stop time, your hand would just go through the object. It's enough to rocket the power of 50 level force. Nah. Okay.
It was a lifetime ago. And for all our victories, the world... We fight, we die. And we just hope that when our time comes, there is someone else to take our place. The songs would have you believe we saved the realms, and they simply refuse to...
Alright,
I've known Marcus for years.
Marcus was scum.
So did that one that was leaving leave?
We kept Alt safe.
Just fall in love with this idiot.
Monsters, snuffling,
She didn't find a spot.
stalking.
Could he not make the person into a rocket then? Just sort of like go up behind them, just sort of like grab them by the hips, just lift them, and then when time restarts they just fuck off. He could do it as well, like he could walk up to them, grab them, throw them, walk back, stand in exactly the same position, and no one know that he did anything. They just disappear. Like, all they see is him lift a gun to his head, pull the trigger. Obviously, he moves his head out of the way to not get shot and killed. But then the other guy just fucks off. From everyone else's perspective, he just lifts the gun, puts it to his head, pulls the trigger, and then in the same instant, the other guy just fucking disappears into the atmosphere. It's like a remote version of the giant launch from Skyrim. Whee! Yeah. Oh dear. Okay. We're done here for now.
This place always knew.
Rightio. I have a second writing thing. It's first good speed object times up, it's DS times up, yeah. I have a second project writing thing that is on hold because I just stopped. But the character in that is essentially a god, and it's the one I mentioned it to before, where it's the multiple universe thing, but it's the multiverse thing, but instead of it just being like multiple versions of the same universe, it's literally like you go to a completely different world. And basically you follow, it's like, you just follow these characters as they go around different ones with their ridiculous powers. and just do whatever they want in that universe. There's a little plot. Anyway, this character's insane. And it gets to the point where, like, he ends up, like, one of the abilities he gets is the ability to breathe like a plasma stream from a fire dragon. Because why not? He makes friends with the fire dragon. The fire dragon teaches him how to make fire. He learns multiple uses of this power by getting completely fucked during battle. Like, obviously, it has a wind-up time, so he's vulnerable during it. But once he fires it, like, his own body gets incinerated as well, but he can heal, so it's fine. One of the things that happens is some other guy that's completely immune to fire just jumps on his back, just like puts him in a rear neck chokehold, slams his jaw shut, and he just unleashes it anyway, and he just detonates. His own body, and then once he realises he can do that, he just starts doing it. If there's multiple enemies around him and he's charging up, he just closes his mouth and everything explodes. I've got another idea for one where he's fighting someone on a similar level of power with him, and the other person is sort of like reading his movements. Like they are also a god. They're a god of battle, and they literally start tapping into their own divine power through fighting this god, and they literally start reading his movements before he's doing them. So what he does is he just decides to do something that's completely insane that no one could predict. And what he does is he charges up the fire plasma thing, and the guy's like, okay, he's doing this, I'm going to run in before he can let it off, and I'm going to get my attack in, and I'm just going to put him out, just going to lay him the fuck out. And to stop that from happening, what he does is he fills up his hands, lowers them, and just slams them into his own stomach, and tears out his abdomen. At which point the guy's sort of looking at him like, what? I don't understand what's going on. But the thing is, where the fire part originates is from within him. So what he does, he just grabs it out and literally rips it out of his sternum, holds it over his head, collects it in his hands, and just points it. Like, makes a ball out of his hand, just points it directly into the other guy's face. And everyone involved is like, oh, I didn't realise he could do that. And he's like, I didn't either. But it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Nowhere safe from this damn. If you need something sharp, I have a few things left.
Basically, how the gods die in that property is a god has to be convinced that it's dead, or that it can't win before it'll actually properly die. He's fun to hang out with. He's actually a really chill dude. It's just that when it comes to fighting, he does not hold back. Well, he'll all hold back. He really enjoys fighting. He really enjoys fighting. And he only gets better when he's in the middle of battle. Like, that's when he improves. That's when he learns new things. Is when he's going completely insane. He's like an actually insane version of Goku, in a sense. Like, people paint Goku out as being actually insane, but he's not. He just likes fighting. Whereas this guy's like genuinely he's mentally damaged. He's also a bit thick. Like, he's a bit of an idiot. Like, Goku's insane, but Gohan. It does make sense. What Goku does in the original series, I will preface, does make sense. Although it can be seen as a bit warped. Preserve judgment for what he does in the, Super. Gohan, I won't fight you, I will kill you. And then the needs of, and then Toriyama's editor gets involved, and suddenly Gohan's not working anymore. It's Goku's turn again, because people come to Dragon Ball for a fighting manga, not a slice of life. And Toriyama just really wanted to write a comedy slice of life, and his editor's like, no, don't pay the bills, write the fighting. It's unfortunate. But yeah, when it comes to fighting, he's a bit weird. Like, the gods that in the world that he comes from, because obviously all the different worlds have different gods and the different god setups. In the world where he comes from, there's basically each god can have a representative, and it's sort of like a demigod that has sort of like a lesser version of the powers of the god. And how it was supposed to work in the original universe is the god would sit back and do nothing. It'd administrate, essentially. The god would administrate its power and its influence in the world, and its representative will go out and actually like enforce its will. Didn't turn out that way in the universe as it ended up. He is actually a representative of the goddess of humanity, and he became a god of war, the god of war, by killing the other god of war. But there you go. Because of this, he didn't actually realise that he was a god until much later, and he gets his representative when he goes to a different universe and finds a literal monster, like not a human, not even a humanoid monster, an actual just straight up, I mean it's semi-bipedal. It prefers to walk on 4 legs, but it can walk on 2. But he's like, he goes to kill it because it's the last monster in existence, because the monsters in that universe waged a war against humanity. That monster was one of the generals of that war, but it got bored of leading an army and decided instead it was going to fight all the other monsters, including the leader monster, because it was just in it to fight and it was getting sick of just slaughtering humans. And then it proceeded to kill all the monsters. Just like, I'm sick of this, you're strong, I'm going to fight you, and we're going to see who wins, because the person who's strongest should be in charge of this shit. Yeah. And, well, like, there was multiple versions, like, her race, her specific monster race, bred by the women being quite strong and the men having to overpower the women. And that's how it worked, because they were animalistic monsters. And she ended up being sort of an outlier even amongst them, and she was very strong, and she decided, hang on a minute, I need to find someone who's stronger than me. And so she just decided to start killing people. Like, how it works with their species as well is eventually the children kill the parents, and that's how they move on, because they eat humans. Because they're monsters. They prefer them. They can eat other things, but they prefer the flesh of humans. It's their favourite meat. And so the population naturally keeps itself down by killing its own family members. Like, the old get wiped out by the younger ones, essentially. They're very nasty creatures, actually. Which is part of the reason why it's... I guess it works out, yeah. They're quite nasty creatures, which is why it's it doesn't work out so well immediately when he makes her his representative. But yeah, so she ends up killing all of her own species that come to her until it gets to the point where she's like, hang on, is there anyone else in my species that is actually stronger than me? So she starts going out and looking for what versions of her own species to fight, and she just ends up wiping them out completely. Like, killing enough of them to the point where they can no longer reproduce enough to survive, and they just disappear and die out. Which is why she gets picked up by why she gets made into a general in the monster army, because the monster army is built based on strength. Like, you've got the one at the top, who is smart and strong. He's the one leading it. And his goal is to fight against the humans of that universe and take over and basically capture them as a slave race. Don't work out that way, for the aforementioned reason of one of his generals is fucking insane. Just kills them all. Like, literally, they're having the climactic final battle between the head monster and, like, the human, sort of, like, religious mage faction. And she just walks into it, it's like, no. You, me, now. I'm in charge of this shit. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of leading weaklings to murder civilians. Not because I don't want to murder civilians, but because it's boring. And then she just kills him. And the human civilian, the human mage guy's like, already, for fuck's sake, I want... Basically. But yeah, so the human guy's already wiped out, and she's like, you guys are weak and pathetic. I'm sick of this. I'm going home. And just fucks off. She's like, I'm not here to kill. If I wanted to kill, I can kill whoever I want. I'm here to fight. And you guys aren't providing me a good fight. I'm just going. And just leaves. Pieces the fuck out. He's like, I'm done. So the monsters get completely wiped out, and she ends up being the only monster left, and they just leave her alone. They've got like a massive region around her. Because they did send multiple sorties out to kill her, and it obviously didn't work. So she's just sat there in like... She's in a teepee made out of the flayed skin of people she's killed. She's a monster. She is genuinely inhuman and lives like a wild animal. And literally, she kills and eats people. And there's like villages nearby that she'll occasionally prey on. And they just leave her alone. And everyone around her sort of like, right, she has a lifespan. She will die eventually. Comfy skin blankie. But everyone around us is like this. She is mortal. She will eventually get old and just die. You guys are gonna have to sort of live with that. Stay there. Stay in your village. She'll occasionally eat one of you. We're not dealing with that. But eventually, obviously, he turns up. The god turns up. Just walks straight up to her. He can smell her from miles away. The stench is horrendous coming from her house. Just walks up to it, finds her inside. She just lounges there like, what the fuck? He's like, you're brave. He's like, no. I'm here to kill you. Sorry about that. I just like, okay then. Send her some books. Maybe stop eating so much out of boredom. No, she at this moment in time, like she's literally just like, imagine a human-eating bear that lives in a cave and occasionally comes out, kills someone, eats it, and goes back to its cave. That's how she lives. She's just an animal, like literally just a wild animal. I don't mean like that she's wild. I mean like yeah, that's how she lives. When I say she's inhuman, that's just how she is. But he goes up to her and he's like, I'm here to kill you. And she's like, sounds fun. Well, no, it's like, you can give it a go. I might have fun, but there we go. And then he's like, no, you don't understand. And he basically unleashes his divine presence. Like, it's the sort of thing that a lot of the more powerful characters can do, is where they just sort of impress upon other people the level of their power, and everyone else goes around and goes, oh, I see. Good day, sir. At which point she notices there's a bit of a disparity here. Literally, this guy goes against the monster. I won't call him Jesus. Definitely won't call him Jesus. He mellows out a bit, but in the first book, quote unquote, like the first story that he's in, he literally kills a guy for insulting his mother. Like, this guy just insults his mother, so he just murders him. It's like, no, death. No, he's the god of war. He is the representative of the goddess of humanity. So, the goddess of humanity, like, when he was a child, his village got completely wiped out by soldiers. Who were fleeing, like, they were renegade soldiers who fled from battle. So they went to a village and they wiped the village out, took all the resources, did what they wanted to the people there, and left. He was the sole survivor. He went to a town, and he told the people of the town what had happened. And they were like, okay, duly noted. We'll send someone to get those soldiers and, wipe them out. Obviously, we can't have them going around. Good day, child. And the child's like, what do I do? He's like, not my problem, kid. Fuck off. Because it's like a medieval fantasy setting. And so the kid's like, okay. He lives with the homeless people for a while. And he grows a very deep resentment for soldiers whilst never actually dealing with his drama. And then the goddess of humanity walks up to him. Like, what she does, all the other gods, they sit in their god thrones, essentially. They've all got their place. No one knows about the goddess of humanity. She doesn't want to be known. The other gods don't want people to know about her. Everyone's happy with this as long as she doesn't get involved in major politics. No one cares. Get a life. Well, what she does is she goes around. Because she's the goddess of humanity, she likes to be with people. And when I say she likes to be with people, I mean that she likes to essentially live out goals vicariously through them. So she'll go up to someone and if she finds someone who she thinks has an interesting goal, she'll go up to them and she will basically become their patron, offer to help them achieve their goal. They'll go out, achieve their goal, and once that's happened, she's gone. She's like, that was fun, thank you, goodbye, and just wanders off. She finds Senator Gus. I think she'd get fucked, but I don't mean that literally. I mean, she would get ripped to pieces. The universe where he comes from, the reason why he's able to leave his universe is because that universe is fucked. It literally does not have enough power in it for the gods to sustain the universe properly, and it's very weak. Like, in that universe, how it's supposed to work is there's supposed to be like the material universe and the sort of like secondary ethereal universe, like sort of like plane sat on top of it. Obviously, it's supposed to cover the whole planet. and there's supposed to be like multiple planets in the solar system, all that. In the universe as it is, the entirety of civilization is concentrated into a landmass about the size of Africa. It's in a square that has been cordoned off by the god of earth and the goddess of water. Like, there's an ocean on one side, and to the north there's a desert, and to the east and to the south there's mountains. And you can't get out of this square because everything outside of it is a lifeless, barren wasteland. The sun literally doesn't shine unless it is over this land. Like, when the earth spins and the sun is no longer over that land, the sun turns off. The god of the sun just turns himself off to hold in power, so that he doesn't use up too much power. That universe is fucked beyond belief. They can't do shit. Everywhere outside of that little square, there's nothing. It's sort of like a grey ashen wasteland. Damn, yeah, it doesn't fucking work. Obviously, everyone in the setting, with the exception of the gods themselves, thinks this is normal. They don't think anything of this. It never crosses their mind for a second. The gods are obviously like, this is fun, but we're making the most of a terrible situation. Magic is actually outlawed. Give me Gatorade or something. No. Give him Gatorade, no. The goddess of magic actually outlaws magic entirely. Like, no one is allowed to use magic, and that is actually a driving point for one of the plots, for one of the characters' main backstory, because she comes from a group of magic users, like a specific cult of magic users, who normally would be fine, but because they use magic after the goddess of magic has outlawed it, they wipe them out. They get killed. Except for her, obviously. But yeah, the goddess of magic is outlawed magic because essentially it increases entropy. Because how magic works in that universe is the gods enact miracles. The gods have power, which they gain from the people with faith. Okay, so people have faith. The faith goes to the gods. The gods then have that power. The gods use miracles, and then that leftover miracle energy diffuses into the atmosphere, and that miracle energy is collected by people who use magic to enact actual changes in the world. But once they do that, the energy is gone. Because it generates heat is lost, it's done. So magic is actually a massive energy sink. When a lot of people use magic, it deletes energy from use, essentially, from the universe. So magic gets outlawed completely in order to preserve life. No one knows about this except for the gods themselves, and they are not interested in telling everyone, because if they turned around to everyone and said, by the way, universe is fucked, should be a lot better, we can't do shit about it, everyone's going to go, what the fuck good are you? At which point the gods no longer receive power, and the sun goes out, fire stops existing, there is no more rain, and all life dies. Because the gods are actually controlling that shit. It's not like a thing where they sort of represent it but they don't do anything. They can use the power but they don't actually have influence in the real world. Like, they are literally tied to those things existing in reality. Which is why, when the character kills the god of war, he becomes the god of war. Because there needs to be a god of war. Because he's not literally the god of war, it's the god of conflict and basically things not working together. So it's literally whenever two things don't harmonize, that is what that god represents. So there's the goddess of life is actually the opposite of that. It's when things actually work together. That is what she represents. So they are the two opposites. But yeah, the universe is completely fucked. And that's where he comes. I forgot how we got into this. Oh, the goddess of humanity? Yeah. So the goddess of humanity finds him as a child, and he hates soldiers. He hates soldiers a lot. And he doesn't really understand anything about anything. All he knows is he hates people who kill other people. He hates the fighting. He hates the violence. He's experienced a lot of violence as an orphan as well. Like, there's two kids that are slightly older than him that constantly beat the shit out of him and steal all the food that he manages to get, being an orphaned homeless child. There's a much larger homeless person who bullies all the other homeless people when he can't get a job. He's like basically one of the few that can actually get a physical job when there's a physical demand for jobs going on, because he's big and he uses his bigness to take other people's food. There are dragons that only started becoming a problem once magic got outlawed completely. The big dragons don't generally deal with the cities very often because they don't view humans as like a valuable... They're not intelligent dragons, they're just wild dragons, but they don't view humans as a worthwhile source of food. Because if you go to a city, you're more likely to get your eye poked out when you're looking for the people than you are to actually get enough food to eat, essentially, is how a dragon views it. So they leave the big areas alone, they mostly feed on like cattle. But what they will do is they'll hover over like a town and let their children hunt the homeless people through the streets as a form of like teaching their kids how to hunt, while the dragon just sort of watches from above to make sure the children don't get killed. And so the orphan child, our small boy version of our protagonist, had to deal with that as well. He's seen many people he knows die, including his pseudo mother figure who once became homeless. He's not having a good time. All he knows is that the only way to stop people from being violent is to kill the violent people. That is his child brain logic. So the goddess of humanity comes up to him and says, basically, do you have a goal? What do you want? He's like, I want people to stop being violent. He's like, how would you do that? I'd kill them. You're going to kill everyone that's going to be violent. Yes, but what happens then in terms of war? He's like, I would kill all the people who wage war. He's like, what about the god of war? And he goes, I would kill the god of war. And she's like, now there's a goal. She doesn't much care for her older brother. Number one, she doesn't actually believe that he'd be able to do it. Number two, their family, sort of, in God terms. They exist, they don't necessarily get along. So she's like, okay, that's actually really interesting. You'll need a lot of power to do that. By the way, here's a knife. Go prove to me that you can. Go to prove to me that you can kill something. And so he's like, okay. Aforementioned two older boys and also the man find themselves getting shanked in their sleep. So you're doing, not your sister but good. Well, I mean, how it was, what was it? There's the original two. There's the god of the sun and the god of light. Those the god of the sun and light, and the god of dark. And those two basically wake up simultaneously. They come into being. The god of light shines light upon the earth and awakens the god of earth, the god of water, the god of wind, and the god of fire. Goddess of fire. Goddess of water, goddess of fire. Yep. And between them, they create the god of conflict and the goddess of life. And then all of them together create the goddess of humanity. And from her forms humanity. I say from her forms humanity. It's not like she didn't give birth to them or anything. It's more metaphysical than that. But yeah, those are the gods and how they work. So they are all kind of related. I mean, they're all literally the gods born of the universe. So they're all the same pantheon. They're sort of like the universe. The family tree is the universe, and then the branch, the first six, and then the two, and then all of them together is the goddess of humanity. Instead, she can use like a minor version of the powers of all the gods. It's like she's not very strong, but she can do things. But essentially, yeah, once he kills two children and a sleeping man, she's like, okay, you've proved to me that you can kill people. Here's the deal. I'm going to make you my representative. And what happens is, every time he kills someone, every time someone kills someone in the name of a god, or every time a representative kills someone, basically they strip that person of their soul and that soul gets dedicated to the god. So, if in battle you dedicate yourself to a god, and then you go out, every person that you kill, that person's innate power, the magical energy infused within them as a living being in this universe, would go to that god. So when the representative of a god kills a person, or any creature, and that power goes to their god, a part of that power also gets siphoned back into the representative because they have a fraction of their god's power. So it's literally like a feedback loop. The more people he kills, the stronger she gets, and the stronger she gets, the stronger he gets. And his job, he has decided that he's going to kill everyone that is violent. And he starts off by killing. Oh, it's my comment too. Ah, yeah, it's a pretty typical feedback loop, I think. But yeah, he starts killing people. Starts off with like just violent robbers, animals that attack people, because he's basically just like an overpowered human at this point, and he is still aging at this point. Injuries not killing. Yeah. I suppose in that case, it's pieces of your own soul that you've dedicated to your god. But yeah, so he's running around killing things. He gradually gets more powerful as she gets more powerful, and he starts killing, bigger groups of people like bandits, small mercenary groups, that kind of thing. And what he ends up doing is eventually he literally just starts running around the country. Like I say, the country. There's several countries. He starts running around the continent because as he gets stronger, he gets faster, and he does basically become a super powered person. It's funny as well because he hasn't worked out how to use any of his abilities aside from healing himself. So he starts off in one place and he's wearing like his boots and he's got his sword and what have you, and he just sprints directly to the nearest conflict that's going on. And as he's running there, he just tears the fuck out of his clothes. Like, his boots disappear, because the second he puts his foot down and pushes, the sole just rips the fuck off. He doesn't know what he's doing at all. Every time he runs anywhere, there's just massive plume clouds falling behind him. Every time he slams his foot into the ground and just runs off, because he's got no idea what he's fucking doing. All the others can fly, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how. He sort of works it out, but he's shit at it. So he goes really slowly. It's literally faster for him to walk. He can store things in like a secondary thing, but he just stores loads of weapons in sort of like a pocket dimension that's sort of like attached to him. And instead of like the other gods, they can strengthen their weapons, or anything they touch, they can strengthen it so it doesn't break. He doesn't know how to do that, so he's just slamming his weapons into people. The weapon just shatters. He just pulls out another one. He's just leaving like smashed bits of weapons everywhere, just charging around. It does get to the point where he doesn't even bother using the weapon, just starts ripping people apart with his bare hands. But in the initial years, he is still very angry, and he's basically a young man that grew up fatherless, and also motherless, because they were murdered. He's a very angry young man, Vinland Saga, kinda. And what happens is because he's now divine in nature, he doesn't need to sleep. He doesn't need to eat. It hurts though if he doesn't. When he doesn't sleep, he still experiences the symptoms of not sleeping. It just won't kill him. And when he doesn't eat, he will still experience hunger, and his stomach will shrink, and he will become very ill. It just won't kill him. Same with drinking. If he doesn't drink water, he'll just get very sick. He won't die. He won't even become weaker, is the thing. He'll still be physically very strong. He'll just be in a lot of pain and hallucinating. And that's what he does. Not for weeks, not for months, but for several years. And by the end of it, he's gone. He's mentally, he's checked the fuck out. And that's how he becomes the person who he becomes, is his mind just shatters from doing literally nothing but murder people for years. And it gets to the point, by the end of it, he's gotten strong enough where he'll jump into a battle. Like, two nations with their armies will be going the fuck at it. And he will just appear from the sky. He'll see it in the distance. Mr. Dragovich, good point, sir. There is no one near. We're gonna be. But it's like, he will see a battle going on several miles away. Like, it'll appear on the horizon as he approaches it, because he sort of gets an innate sense of where things are going on as well, because he's looking for it. And he'll see it on the horizon, and he'll just jump. He'll just see it miles off, and he'll just sort of run at it and just fucking leap. Like the fucking Incredible Hulk. He'll just jump at it. He'll arrive, slamming down into the middle of the battle. He'll pick a side, generally. If it's a battle where one side is clearly the aggressor, he will fight that side. Because, like I said, he still has... he's completely lost his mind, but he still has the initial drive where he doesn't like people who are violent to other people. He doesn't like people who, initiate the violence. That's what's driving him. He doesn't really understand it anymore, because, his memories are shot to shit. He tries to forget everything. He just blocks everything the fuck out and just enjoys himself. And he'll just arrive, and he'll just start massacring the other army. And he will do it. He will kill every single one of them. He has a weird sense of, morality to it, where if someone attacks him, then he'll kill them. Even if they run away, if someone attacks him and then tries to flee, he'll still kill them. But if he jumps into a battle, and then people flee without trying to attack him first, he'll let them go. Because the way he thinks about it is, okay, battle has been initiated against me. Free game. It's now you or me. One of us is dying, and it's going to be you. But if someone runs away, he's like, okay, they clearly don't want to fight me. they're soldiers. They came into battle thinking it was possible for them to win. They've seen me, know they can't win, so they're fucking off. Okay. And that's sort of like his morality system. It's... Strangely, it's sort of honourable, kind of, but he doesn't let people retreat. If they do it, if you do step 2, you're going to die. That's how this works. But if you decide, nah, not for me, fam, I'ma go, he's absolutely cool with that. But you can't do both. And he just starts killing people. You've got to own up to your consequences. Essentially, yes. But yeah, he does that to the point where the nations themselves start running out of men. On the what, like, they simultaneously, it gets to the point where they don't have enough men to field an army, and also all the men are like, no. You can put me in jail. Tax me more. I'm not going. Listen, you might kill me. If I go out there, I'm going to die. So I'm just not going. And essentially, war stops. Just like all war on the entire continent just ceases to exist over the course of like a couple of years, because every single time a nation fields an army, the army gets completely wiped out. Totally. I'd rather have a 0.1% of death. Yes. It's like, literally, it's like, listen, you can do so many things to me, but I might survive you. I'm not surviving that. There's an insane god... Because remember, no one knows about the goddess of humanity. So as far as they're aware, some divine being of unknown origin who screams and cackles like a madman just appears in the middle of battle, slaughters an entire side, and fucking disappears. He might hang around to literally grab the weapons and equipment off of some of the soldiers before fucking off, but he just appears, murders everyone, disappears. Just Birmingham, yes. All the other gods, obviously, know what's happening, but they're staying mum about it because they don't want people to know about the goddess of humanity. So they're refusing to speak on him, and they're refusing to do anything about it. So all the people are like, what the fuck is going on? Just, everything was fine. All of a sudden, this guy just appears. We don't know where he's come from. Also, another thing he does is he exclamates all the dragons. And dogs in general, but he especially hates wolves. This guy just needs some culling, just needs to do some culling to deal with it, yeah. But yeah, he especially hates wolves because when his village got attacked and all the dead villagers got left behind, a bunch of wolves moved in and they're like, oh sweet, free food. And so as he woke up, he got to see his family his dead family being eaten by wolves. He doesn't like wolves very much. So there you go. He doesn't like dragons either because of the aforementioned thing. So he kills all the dragons, just genocide, complete genocide, no more dragons. He can't kill all the wolves. He tries. He don't manage it. He is consistently annoyed by the fact that no matter how many wolves he kills, they keep coming back. This is a point of consternation for him. But yeah, eventually, war essentially ceases. But while that's happening, the god of war is like, what's going on? Okay? People keep telling me there's some weird magical guy who's killing a bunch of people. At least people assume it's magic. I think there may be something else going on here. Like, he has an inkling, but he's not been told. So he's like, okay, my representative, congratulations, you are now being fielded with this army. This army's going out. They've asked... He basically runs a giant mercenary camp, essentially, as the god of war. Mercenaries from all over the world come to him. Nations come to him to hire the mercenaries that come to him. He basically has a giant arena as his sort of like god seat. And yeah, he's like, okay, this nation's come to us to ask for support. As for our mercenaries, okay, I'm not sending our mercenaries, I'm sending you, representative, go find out what the fuck is going on. And so what happens is, the representative goes out, meets the other guy, he's like, I see, because he does know about the goddess of humanity, being a representative, and he's like, okay, you're causing issues. He goes up to him to have a chat, and the guy's like, how about we just have a duel instead? He's like, okay. And then he gets murdered. So, the representative for the God of War is dead. He tries to fight. It doesn't go well, because when you've got two people of basically divine proportions who can both heal, and you've got one that is sort of disciplined, he's quite strong, he knows how to use his weapon, he has a special weapon ability, he can, when he swings his sword, it does the air blade thingy, because it does XP grinding AFK, essentially, yes. She is, by the end of it, she is incredibly powerful, and she just doesn't do shit. She just sits off in the corner. She's like, I want nothing to do with this. The other gods, after the god of war dies, the other gods are sort of looking at her, just like looking at her with a glare in their eyes, and she's just sat there like, listen, I'm very powerful now. You leave me alone. But yeah, what happens is he kills the representative because he is actually insane. Like I said before, when you kill a divine being in this setting, because they can heal, you have to convince them that you've killed them. I'm just enjoying my stacks, don't worry about you, essentially, yes. But yeah, like I mentioned before, she doesn't actually initially think that he's going to end up killing the god of war. She's like, he'll try. I don't think it's going to work. But yeah, he ends up killing the god of war's representative. Like, one of the things that he'll do, because he's verifiably insane, and he really likes fighting, and he can't die, one of the things that he'll do, for example, is when he charged at a line of people with spears, like they put their spears up at him, he's like, oh no, spears. Now, being an incredibly powerful divine being, he could have knocked them out of the way, he could have done whatever he wanted to them. What he decided to do instead was jump up, so they all lifted their spears at him, and he just dropped onto their spears, and then as the spears appear to him, he just looks at them with a grin, the most insane grin you can imagine, and just drags himself through the spears towards them, downwards, at which point they all probably shit themselves. That's the kind of thing he just does, because he's insane, and he just throws himself into battle. Like, it gets to the point where the pain is just a bonus for him. Like, because the pain can't kill him, but it makes him feel alive, so he just throws himself into weapons. So, when the god of war's representative is fighting him, because the gods don't fight each other, they don't fight other divine beings, and there's no magical beings to fight. Sweet pain, essentially. He's treating it as if he's fighting, you know, a person. Not a living embodiment of just slaughter. So he's attacking him, and it gets to the point where he attacks him, and the other guy just sort of walks into it. And he doesn't know what to do from that point on. And eventually they do start, what's the phrase? Don't argue with an idiot, they'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. That's essentially how the battle goes. Instead of keeping his calm, staying back, and trying to whittle him down, he ends up losing his cool, joining in the ridiculous melee, and just getting completely curb stomped by the insane person who... Because it's like... He'll swing his weapon in. Like, the Goddess of Humanity's representative will swing a weapon at the God of War's representative. And the God of War will block it. The God of War's representative will block it. And the weapon will smash completely. Because he doesn't, like I mentioned before, the guy doesn't know what he's doing. The insane guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's just swinging sticks, essentially. But what happens then is, the guy who's blocked it and smashed the weapon now hasn't actually stopped the guy who was swinging at him. Because he's just pushed straight through it. And the other guy could just grab another weapon and come at him again. And he can just keep doing that. Essentially forever. Whereas the guy who's blocking them is just sort of like every single time he blocks them, he's not actually blocking the attack. He's blocking the weapon, but not the attack itself. So every single time he blocks something, he is now in a static position where he is kind of open. And this does not go well for him. He just gets murdered. He gets brutally fucking murdered, essentially. At which point, the insane guy's like, okay. Because they had the conversation at the beginning, he knows who this guy is. It's the god of war's representative. He's like, okay, so the god of war has sent his representative to fight me. Therefore, I am now at war with the god of war. So naturally, he immediately just strides straight the fuck on over to where the god of war is and kills the entire city. All of it. Every single person inside. All the mercenaries, everyone. They all die. And he does this immediately. Like, there's no, I need to prepare for this. It's like, the battle happens, within 10 minutes, he's at the city. They're miles away. They're more than miles away. They're like hundreds of miles away. He's just there. The god of war has just realised that his representative's dead. Like, he feels it happen. And he's like, oh shit. This is actually a problem, right? I need to sort out a new representative. We need to see what's going on. What's that noise outside? He leaves his arena. It's quite a big arena. He leaves his arena. Everything's destroyed. Everyone's dead. He's slaughtered everyone outside. And he's like, there you are. You wanted a fight. And the God of War's like, What the fuck have you done? He very nearly doesn't survive, by the way. It is a close call with the God of War, and the only reason the God of War loses is because, like I mentioned before, the insane guy only gets better when he's, you know how much the mortgage is for the city? He's genuinely fucking furious. Like, he actually cares about the people that have just been murdered. Like, that's one thing, is like, I will never, ever, 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 ever call one of my characters from that series, like, a hero. Or, like, a good person, because they're just not. This guy's insane, he wandered up into a city and just committed a mass genocide. Because the guy in charge sent the guy to kill him. It's like, yeah, okay, it's a mercenary city, so everyone, well, the majority of people there are people there who are non-combatants. There aren't anymore. Because there's another thing as well, because he's super powered. What he can do is he basically do the fucking Attack on Titan thing with the monkey man. He just grabs rocks, just chucks them, and it's essentially grape shot through buildings. It's nasty. What's this second of popcorn? Actually, at this point, she's on the side just horrified. She's like, oh my god, what have I done? She's like, oh shit. Because remember, she's a goddess of humanity. She doesn't actually want to see humanity genocided. At this point, she's looking at the person who she's given a fuck ton of power to and is now insane and going, oh no, this might not end well. But at the same time, she's also remembering that the guy said, I mean, he did say he was going to kill the God of War. Before he's going to sleep, eat and drink. At this point, he does that, he's been mind broken. At this point, he does do that, but he's basically forgotten everything that happened to him as a child, except for the highlights, you know, the actual traumatic bits. But he sort of like reworked it in his brain to be something that drives him not miserable. So it's like the traumatic moments that he experiences, he treats them as if they're natural, like they're normal, like it's you know, it's something that happened. Oh, as opposed to the things that actually broke him. So yeah, you know, family got murdered, happens, and then he just goes on as if it doesn't affect him. Like his mind is broken, and he uses it essentially. Everything that made him act the way he acted before still makes him act. Everything that made him act the way he acted before, when he was miserable, angry, and murderous, filled with rage, still makes him act that way now. But he's like reworked the emotional response to it, to where instead of it making him angry, it's just like, that was a thing that made me think this way. And he now treats it as sort of just like his hobby. Like, his hobby is to go around murdering people. That's what he does. That's just, hey, you know, I go here and I do this because I like doing it. That's how he acts now. Like, he's completely recontextualized it in his mind, and that's how he copes with it. His coping mechanism is just to completely ignore the trauma in the traumatic event. It's just an event now that made me think a new way. That's how he does it. So that's what I mean when he's like screaming and he's laughing. He's enjoying it. Like, he's treating it as if he enjoys it. A lot. It's basically the adrenaline. Adrenaline makes me happy. But yeah, he ends up killing the God of War. Like I said, up until this point, he's just been using like pure brute strength to get through everything. And the God of War picks up on that during their fight. Like, the God of War is actually mocking him to start off with, because the God of War is the God of War and can use quite strong attacks. By which I mean, he literally, kind of like how his representative can use, like, he slashes with a sword and the slash goes further than the sword and it'll cut what's in front of it. You know, the EI slash, whatever the fuck. The God of War can sort of do things like that, except instead of a slash, it's like, imagine a pillar the size of a tower just extended from his sword. So if he lifts his sword and brings it down, everything in front of him, in sort of like a cylindrical shape, just crushes into the earth. It's just down. It's just gone now. And if he does it sideways, everything gets wiped the fuck out. Like, if he did it sideways across a city, the city will just go disappearing into the distance. And he can do that very quickly. And his sword is basically impervious to damage. Like, obviously he's much faster as well. He's very fast, he's very strong. What ends up happening is, during the battle, he picks up on the fact that this guy can't really use any of his abilities properly, other than the fact that he will heal from minor damage. Well, I say minor, he'll heal for major damage as well, but it takes more effort to do that. And what the insane guy does is he starts disappearing into the city. Because he's insane, and because he started off quite weak, he has a few tricks up his sleeve where he just disappears. Like, he'll run into a building and just jump through the windows of the building, disappear around the back of the building, and then disappear into the streets and then attack from a blind spot. And he'll do that. And he'll throw things from a distance. He's got tons of shit just in his storage space that he'll just jump around and throw shit at him. The God of War's pissed off by this, just starts destroying everything. But he realises that the guy's not really got anything. And what happens is, the God of War finally manages to corner him and basically just lunges at him with a thrust. And the guy's he's on a back foot. He can't really go anywhere at the moment because he can't, there's a thing that they can do later on where if they're touching the ground, they can move in whatever way they want because they connect themselves to the ground. He can't do that. The other gods can. So the God of War can come back from being on the back foot and straight into a thrust whilst the insane guy's still recovering or trying to land. He can't do anything about it. So what he does is he puts his sword that he's currently holding in his hand out in front of him, and the two swords touch tips, essentially. And what happens is the God of War sword just snaps straight through the sword that he's holding, obviously. Gets to halfway up the hill. The insane guy realises he's about to die, at which point he just sort of essentially clenches up, and he manages to finally use the ability to actually strengthen the thing that he's in contact with. And he strengthens the sword that's in his hand while it's half shattered, and ends up twisting his hand and forcing the God of War to the side. And that's how he survives that. And he also realises, I can actually use power. And then he starts using that to deflect. He becomes a right arsehole about it as well. He's not just powerful and murderous, he's also a dickhead. Because what he does is, the God of War thrusts at him again, and what the insane guy does is he's really enjoying this. He really enjoys the fact that he's learned a new ability. He holds the sword out point first again, and just starts deflecting the God of War by flicking the tip against the tip of the God of War's sword. Which the God of War really doesn't fucking like. The God of War loses his cool, essentially, starts smashing the shit up. He does hit him, but it's not a clean hit. So you've got the insane guy who's half smashed, the God of War who's fucking knackered by this point. He's not having a good day at all. And eventually, what happens is he ends up getting stabbed and thrown. After performing an attack, the insane guy basically takes it for the most part. He's got one limb left at this point, and he uses it to push forward and just stick the God of War directly in the chest, push him down, and he's face ripped off, healing slowly, mind you, just curled over the top of him. Just stabbing, staring down at him. The God of War is oh my god, this person's insane, I'm going to die. At which point he dies. That's all it takes. That's literally all it takes. If you have the damage that would kill you, and you believe that you're going to die, then you die. And in that split second, where the God of War is looking at the guy who's murdered his entire city, and his representative is smashed the fuck to pieces, and is currently stabbing him in the chest, he's oh my god. Well, I say, oh my god. Not really. He's oh, this guy's going to kill me, and that's it, he's dead. And that's literally what it takes. It's actually very difficult to kill a god. If the god doesn't believe they're going to die, it's actually very fucking difficult to kill a god. You have to convince them that either you're powerful enough or insane enough that you can kill them. It's that's actually a thing. It's later on, the people just start shooting him. Because he goes to different universes. Some of the universes have guns, and people shoot at him. And he has two options, which he alternates between. One of them is he strengthens his body enough to the point where the bullets just bounce off him. They hit him and bounce off. Sometimes he'll just let the bullets pass through him, because he can heal from it. It doesn't matter where they shoot him. He'll let him shoot him in the head, and his eye will pop out, and it'll grow back. He'll just stand there as they shoot him, and he'll just look at them "You're done? Can I go back to my conversation? Thank you." And he's just mogs them without doing anything at all. They shoot at him, he just stands there and goes, "Stop it." And they have to stop because eventually they'll run out of ammunition. It's what can you do? It's listen, God, not God. Do with that information what you will. But yeah, it's not impossible for a human being to kill a god. Very unlikely. Very fucking unlikely. Also, if you do kill a god as a human being, from this universe, other universes that work differently, but in this universe, if a non-god killed a god, or if a god got damaged to the point where it could die in the presence of a human, and it believes that it would die, it still wouldn't die, because in order for the god to actually be killed, another being has to take its soul, essentially. Now, that will typically be the one that killed it. In this case, the representative goddess of humanity kills the god of war and takes the god of war's soul and ends up becoming both. Although he doesn't know it. He doesn't, like I said before, he's an idiot. Genuinely, other people work this out around him and just don't tell him. We are writing a contract just now, sign it for fuck's sake. But yeah, no, he, yeah, like, other people work it out by talking to him, working out how, like, the divine mechanics work, realizing what he's done, and then just not telling him. Like, they're like, telling him would be a bad idea, so we're not going to. He's already arrogant enough. We're just not going to tell him. And that's basically how it goes. The goddess of war, by the way, after this incident, disappears. She's like, I am not fueling this insanity anymore. She lets him keep his power because she needs him to believe that he only has his power because of her. Like I said, he doesn't realise that he's the god of war anymore, yet. He still thinks he's getting his power from being the goddess of humanity's representative. So she lets him... So she still stays connected with him in that way, but she hides her presence from him completely and just disappears. She does not want to be seen by him again. They have, like, she speaks to him once afterwards, and then not again for, like, I think it's, how long did I say it was? Like 300, 400 years? The other character, by the way, the female character who I mentioned before, the one whose family got killed for doing magic, was like 500 years. Either way, she is 100 years more than him. And she disappeared from... There's a library, it's called Dualumin. It's a library built for both the god of the sun and the goddess of the light, and it's basically all knowledge all knowledge revealed by the light. Very poetic. They make their last stand there. The reason why they become heretical magic users is because they believe that each god is like the opposite of another god, and they're looking for the opposites of the gods. They're not actually incorrect, technically speaking, but they believe that instead of the god of war being the opposite of the god of life, they believe there's a god of death, essentially. And so they're looking for the god of death, and through doing that, they come up with a lot of different magics. One of them is immortality, but it's very difficult, and it's like an actual process. They only manage to make one person, and it's the character that comes back later. Another one is undeath, so they can create zombies, which she's the only one who knows about it now. And another one is moving things from the physical realm to the astral plane. Basically, like planar translocation. Now, as I mentioned before, there should be an astral plane. There isn't an astral plane because the universe there does not have the power to sustain one. So when they move something to the astral plane, they literally just sort of like place it in a void. It's no longer there anymore. It's somewhere else, and no one can access it. The only people who can bring that thing back are the people who put it there to begin with, because they know where it should be, or the if anyone who got sent with it. And they all die, essentially, translocating this library into the astral plane, where she goes along with it. And so she is stuck in the void, in this massive library of magic knowledge, essentially, by herself. And what she does is she summons corpses, because summoning magic is a thing. She summons corpses from the physical world, turns them into zombies, and then just starts storing them. And she just creates a gigantic zombie army. And then it takes a long time, because when you start off using magic, you're not very strong, but you do get better at it with practice. Like, the more powerful spells use more magic out of you. And if you run out of magic, you die, because magic is literally, it's a sustaining force in this universe. Life magic literally keeps you alive. So, but it is literally like a case of stamina, where the more magic you use, the more you can then keep it within you and use. So she gets better over time, but to begin with, it's very slow. To begin with, she has enough trouble summoning food for herself to eat, because someone who won't age, essentially. But yeah, she has a lot of trouble. Eventually, she decides, right, I'm coming back to the real world. I've got my giant zombie army. They're going to go out, spread all out from where I am currently. It is currently the Moon Festival. So the Moon Goddess isn't paying attention. She's the only one really who knows where I am. It's the middle of the night. The God of the Sun isn't watching. We're going to come in, middle of the night, zombies everywhere. They're going to go to each village and town nearby. We're going to kill every single motherfucker on this planet. And then we're going to kill the gods. And I don't care what happens if the gods are fucking dying because I am annoyed, essentially. She's gone quite insane. She appears back in reality. The library has appeared. Fuck off. Bot. Thank you. The library has reappeared. Go away. There we go. She's there. She's got around me. She's like, go forth. The insane guy is also there. Because he's got no shit to do. For the past few hundred years, there hasn't been a single war. There are a few bandits that occasionally pop up. They immediately get mogged. He just walks up to them, just annihilates them completely, because he can. He, as the God of War, he doesn't realise it now, but as the God of War, he is automatically drawn to conflict. If there is a major conflict brewing, he just sort of finds himself going there. And he doesn't understand that he's doing it either. No one really notices that that's the thing that's happening. It's sort of like, oh, well, this is a fucking coincidence. But they don't notice that he's generally, when he makes a decision to go somewhere, it's sort of like, when he gets there, there's going to be a conflict, and it's because there's going to be a conflict. That's what he did already. Yes, but now it's like innate. Like, now he's not even looking for them. He can get there before it starts. Like, beforehand, what he'll do is he'd hear a rumour about a war starting, and then he'd go there. And he'd sort of like, he had like a sixth sense for sniffing it out. Like, he'd be able to work out, but now he doesn't even need to know anything. Like, he could be in the middle of the fucking woods, and he'll go, I feel like going in that direction. And he'll just end up at a battle. Or he'll end up at some bandits. And that's just what happens with him now. Unless he's focusing on something else, he'll just drift towards conflict. He'll end up being there before it happens now. As opposed to arriving as it's going on. And so he's been sat there for like a few days, because her preparation to come back into the world has actually taken a little bit, and because she's trying to keep it secret, it's been sort of brewing underground. But he's been there for like a few days, and sort of like, something's happening here. I'm gonna wait. And so she appears, massive zombie army. He's like, I want to play. You have no idea how bored I am. I want to play. And she's like, you can die first then. And he's like, sweet. Destroys everything. She freaks the fuck out. Goes back inside. She's become quite adept at summoning magic. She has found a banned summoning spell. And the reason why it's banned is because this summoning spell just reaches into different universes entirely. Like I said before, this universe, fucked. The walls of this universe, basically separating it from other universes, quite weak. So, some of the magic that they do, if performed powerfully enough, can just punch a hole into another universe and drag something through. Now, this is the first time she's doing it, because she rightly concluded it's a terrible fucking idea to actually try that, because you've got no idea what the fuck's coming. And so she drags through, essentially, a warrior from another universe. As he's coming, what happens first is the other guy shows up, the insane guy shows up, turns up there, and he's like, I see you performing some magic there. Is that magic going to stop me? And she's sort of like, no. He's like, be honest. He's like, I'm hoping so. And he's like, good, get on with it. I will sit here and I will wait. And he just sort of like sits back on like this stone fence, sort of like leaning there, watching. He's like, go on. Genuinely, I'm not taking the piss here. I want to see what happens. He's like, okay. Someone's a warrior. The guy's like, okay, who the fuck are you? He's like, I am such and such of such and such. God of, like, chosen by the gods. And the guy's like, cool, neat, let's do it. Immediately kills him. He's very curious. He's excited because this is the first thing that's happened with him. The first major thing that's happened for him for hundreds of years. Like I said, nothing has happened. The goddess of humanity disappeared. He's got zero interest in the other gods. He avoids them. Like, he literally doesn't go near them. He's not been to a single other god. He's not even to visit. Not even to drop by and say what's going on. And the other representatives, the other gods and their representatives are terrified of him. They don't even know what he looks like. They have no intention of finding out. They don't want to go near him. They're like, that man killed a god and he's insane. I don't want to be near him. Well, essentially what he does is he kills the warrior that gets summoned and he says, well, he's like, oh, that was easy. That's kind of disappointing. I wonder if he wasn't actually chosen by the gods, or maybe. And he just starts rattling things up. Maybe he was chosen by the gods, but when he came here, that severed his connection to his gods. So then he became weak. That's pretty sad. Anyway, can you do that again? And she's like, what? It's like, yeah. Can you summon another thing from another universe? I mean, this time clearly it was a bit of a bust. You know, could have been better, but you know, maybe next time. And she's like, it takes a lot of magic. I need full moon. He's like, okay, so next month? He's like, I can hang out. I don't mind. Anything you need. If you need materials, anything you need, let me know. I'll go get it. Don't you worry about a thing. I'll take care of it. She's like, okay. Sweet. See ya. Bounces. She's giving a fighting ring with this. Well, she's terrified. She's not an evil person, per se, but she was obviously rightly pissed off that her entire family got murdered for reasons that are quite bullshit. I've done nothing in this game. But yeah. So yeah, she's quite terrified of this person because, let me remind you, she has no idea about the goddess of humanity. She doesn't even recognize him as a representative because he doesn't dress like one. He doesn't dress like a divine being at all. He has zero aura. Essentially, like, he turns up and he's just like some dude. Like, he looks pretty strong. He looks the part. Well, they don't even look the part, to be honest. He shows up in like peasant clothes that are mostly torn because he doesn't bother to fix them. Like, he's worked out. You know, I'm just gonna try. Basically, yes. Like, she essentially becomes his like fearful prisoner. But yeah, when he turns up, like, he's worked out that he can strengthen his weapon. Like, this is what I mean when I say that he's stupid, by the way. He starts out really fucking stupid. He does get better at it as time goes on, and he learns that, oh yeah, I should think about things. It's mostly her, by the way, that teaches him to actually think about what the fuck he's doing. But, yeah, when it starts off, like, he learnt that he can strengthen the weapon in his hand when he's fighting things. He has not extended that to his clothing, or the ground, or literally anything else. So his clothing still gets torn to shit. He still explodes everywhere whenever he jumps. It's just whatever he's holding in his hand, because he's thick as fuck. It actually goes like, she starts explaining to him, like, you know, you can use your abilities in other ways, right? And he like strengthens his clothes. He's like, holy shit. He comes back the next day and she's looking for him and he's on the ceiling because he's like, I can strengthen, if I strengthen something, I'm attached to it now. It has to be attached to me for it to be strengthened. But what that means I can do is, if I strengthen a wall, I am now attached to that wall. And he basically practices being Spider-Man for a bit. He's like crawling on the walls. He's like standing upside down on the wall. He's like, hey. And he's really proud of himself. He's like a little child that's learned a new trick. He's like really giddy. But yeah, essentially, he basically starts dragging... Right, okay, basically what it is he is an extreme extrovert and she is the introvert that he has decided to adopt. She wants nothing to do with anyone else. Like, when it fucks up my nose, I need to adopt. It's actually the other way around. Like, she doesn't want anything to do with anyone. She's been isolated from human beings for hundreds of years. Longer than he has been alive, by the way. She's actually older than him. And he's just sort of like dragging her around. Like, he drags her to a nearby village. He's like, listen, you clearly needed some time out. There's a village nearby. It's like a small merchant hub. There's an inn there. They do great meals. The woman there's lovely. We're going for dinner. Just grabs her, picks her up, and just carries her. Like, literally just grabs her and just runs. And she's screaming because he's running. This is a divine being that has decided he is going to run to a destination. He is moving very, very quickly. Like, the sound barrier does not exist in front of him. He's gone. She is not happy. He stops outside the village. And she's just like, never, ever, ever do that again. He's like, shut up, mate. He can, as a divine being, by the way, he can heal other people as well. Obviously. Naturally. He's a god. There actually comes a point later where she asks him to explain what powers he has. He tells her what powers he has. Later on, he heals someone. She's like, you didn't tell me you could heal people. And he's like, I am a divine being. What the fuck is the point if I can't heal someone? Did you not think? And she's like, I do not need this from you. But essentially, yeah, he drags her into an inn. Fair, yeah. He drags her into the inn. They have dinner. The woman there just sort of like comes over to her, is like, listen, I know this guy. He's been around a few times. I've known him for a little while now. I know he's a bit eccentric, but do you need help? Do I need to call someone? Like, no one knows that he's divine, by the way. Like, everyone has kind of forgotten about. Like, it's literally been hundreds of years. The events that ended war on this continent have been consigned to myth, essentially, because he's like, it happened over the course of like a couple of years, and then just everything stopped. The god of war got murdered, and everything stopped. So, and he doesn't bother telling people. He's not like, he doesn't like show off. Everyone knows that he's really strong, and that he's keep a damn guard for the village. It's like that. He goes everywhere. Like, the reason why people know him so well in that village is because, like I said, it's a merchant hub, and he also travels through there quite regularly. And because she was happening nearby, like, her summoning thing made him stay in the village for a while because he was watching that happen. Like, none of the other gods were paying attention to that happening. He was watching it from a distance. In fact, you could say that quite possibly the reason why none of the other gods were paying attention to that happening is because he was there and they didn't want to be near him. There actually does come a point where the goddess of magic sends her representative to the library where she is, because they're like, the library's come back. I know who's there. That bitch who's not dead. We need to go resolve that right the fuck now, because magic is a big no-no. We couldn't get to her before because she was on the fucking ethereal plane that we can't get to. It's a massive pain in the ass. Gonna go deal with it now. So the representative of the goddess of the moon just turns up, does her whole divine bit. It's just like, I am here to resolve the conflict that has been around. And the guy's, no, fuck you, ain't killing my dad. No, literally, he finds it really funny because he just turns up. And he's just sort of like in the corner because he's not scared of her at all. And he's just sort of there. It's like, he walks her through it. He's like, no, I'm not scared of you. He's like, you know who I am? He's like, yeah, I've got a pretty good idea of who you are. He's like, do you know who I am? And she's like, because they're all terrified of him, but they've never actually seen him. because they're so terrified of him, and because he doesn't come to them, they have got no intention of ever going near him, so they know about him. But they don't know what he looks like. And so he's like, he just talks her through it, and as she realises who she's talking to, she just gradually gets quieter and just stares and just sort of like backs away in just abject fucking horror. And he's just laughing at her. He's just grinning. Massive shit-eating grin on his face. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, okay. Do you want an apple? Oh, by the way, something that this guy does is he cooks. Because he's lived so long and because he forages, like he just runs around the place. He doesn't always go into towns. He doesn't mind just like camping out in the woods because he's immortal. Like, he doesn't have anything to fear from the local wildlife. He doesn't care about getting wet. He doesn't care about the rain. He doesn't care about starving. He just lives out in the woods for weeks, months at a time. If he doesn't feel like going into civilization, he just doesn't. Baldur going to leave. Have fun with your life. Well, this thing is the daughter who's older than him. But no, the goddess of magic doesn't show up. But her representative does. And she goes back and she tells the goddess of magic, the goddess of magic is like, oh, fuck. Oh, no. We can no longer deal with this problem. But, yeah, what he does is he cooks. He cooks a lot. He really enjoys cooking. So, one of the things he really enjoys cooking is like fruit pies, so like apple pies and berry pies, that kind of thing. He likes cooking sweets. Because when he was young, his mother, and there was an old woman at the village, the old woman would make jam, and his mother would cook pies with the jam, and he'd love it. And he hasn't had that for an extremely long time, so sometimes occasionally he'll bake himself a pie. And on that day, he happens to bake a pie. So he's like, here you go. Like, it's very sweet. He's actually quite good at cooking. It's quite funny. It becomes a thing later on with the goddess of magic specifically. But, yeah, what happens is, he's been cooking pies because he likes cooking pies. He's got a new friend as well. Here's the thing as well. He stays away from humans. Like, what he'll do is he'll move into an area. He'll befriend people there. He'll make friends. He'll have fun. He'll play with people. He'll get along. And then after a few years, he'll disappear because they're all gonna die and he's not. And if he stays there too long, they're going to start to realise that, hang on a minute, I know he's strong and weird shit happens around him, but he's not getting older. So he just fucks off. That's what he does. He stays in the area for a bit, leaves, but now he's finally found someone who isn't going to get older. So he's decided, this person is my person now. I live here. Like this library. Okay, this library's hers because she lived here longer, but I live here now as well. No. Because she's absolutely horrified of me. Genuinely, when the representative is like, no, I'll just go. I'll just leave. I'll go home. It's fine. You can stay here. You can do whatever you want here. I just want to leave. And he's like, no. Stay. I baked a pie. You can take some home with you. And he literally just goes, gives her a pie. He's like, there you go. Like, because he's like, he's not malicious. He's not evil. He's just insane and very violent against people who he thinks should be committed, violence should be committed against. But they don't know that. All they know is, this is a man who killed a god. We don't know why he killed the god. Maybe he has a grudge against gods. Maybe if he meets us, he'll try to kill us too. So let's just not. He's fun to hang out with. Yeah, he is, as a person, he's fine. Because of the trauma that he has experienced, and the power that he has, sometimes he's not fine. Because the level that you need to commit to be considered someone that he should kill isn't necessarily very high. And there is no, you've done a bad thing, therefore he needs some good, he does need very good therapy. He's not going to get it. he's genuinely, as an individual, because he's to give this guy therapy, she wants, I didn't really bring it up when I was talking to her. She's a very aloof person. Like, she doesn't connect with people. She's not a human being. She likes humans, and quite literally her job. No, that's the thing. She is a god. She likes humans and seeing them do things. She does not consider herself on the level of humans, and she does not care to. Like, she's there to observe. She's like, imagine a scientist observing monkeys, and the monkey does something funny, and the scientist is like, I enjoyed that the monkey did something funny. Bring it here, I need to give it a jab. I need to take out his eye to see what happens when I poke its optic nerve. That's the level that she's on. Like, she does have like a level of affection for him, but it's not the level, like, he literally sees her as his third mother. Like, he has his original mother, who was his mother. He has the mother that died and got eaten by dragons, and he has her. And he considers her like his mother. He loves her to bits, and she does not reciprocate that. She is like, she has an affection for him, but not to that degree, and she wants nothing to do with it. But he basically considers her someone that literally saved his life. Like, she kind of did, but there you go. But yeah, what happens is he sends her back with fly. But eventually, they go on a road trip, essentially. Because this witch woman, this magical woman, hasn't really, seen the world in an extremely long time. And she hasn't interacted with people. Like, literally, he openly just straight up calls people. She's like shirking away from children. She's like, I don't know how to deal with human interaction. There is a child, help. And he's like, don't talk to her. She's socially inept. She can't deal with you. And like, what's that mean? It's like, just don't talk to her. She can't handle it. And she's like, hey. And he's like, it's true. Shut up. But he takes her on a road trip. And on this road trip, he decides, hang on a minute. In all my life, I've never actually been to the cities of the gods, and now we're going to go on a road trip. Let's go visit them all. And she's like, no, and he's like, it'll be fine. Obviously, they end up going to the City of Magic, the Moonlight City. It looks, the way the city works, by the way, is at night, all the buildings have got like special tiles on them. So that when it's nighttime and the moon is out, all the rooftops of the buildings twinkle. And it's set up so that you've got the river in the south. And then the low buildings next to the river. And as they move away from the river and towards the goddess of the moon's temple, they get gradually higher. So it's sort of like a hill, a sloping hill of twinkling building tops. And I think that's a brilliant image. I killed one of my movies when I could deal with it. He doesn't even talk about it. Like, he mentions it at the beginning because the guy the warrior that comes through, like, announces all of his titles as he comes out. So the insane guy's like, and one of the things I've said is that this Godslayer or whatever, and she's like, excuse me? The fuck did you say? So she knows he did it, but he's not bothered about it. But he doesn't consider it like a major thing. It's just a thing that I did. But yeah, they go to the City of the Moon, and while they're there, like, there is a lot of like magical resources. Not necessarily, because there are some magic users, not many, and they're all sponsored by the state. So there are some magic users. You know, you are fucking kidding me? This hope kill the god, essentially. Obviously, she doesn't even know about the goddess of humanity either, so she's completely blown away by everything he tells her. He's like, oh my god. But no. Like, she still believes in the goddess of death, by the way. Well, she does, until he's like saying, oh no, I know a god. You're wrong. And she's like, everything I believed in was a lie. But yeah, they go to there are still magic users, but sponsored specifically by the state, because what happened is, when he became really powerful, he started killing all the people that were attacking other people. That also included all of the hunting parties that were hunting down wizards and witches. Because they would go into a place and just kill people who did magic. And he was like, I don't like people who go into places and just randomly kill people. Fuck you. So all these executioner squads, sponsored by the Goddess of the Moon, just got wiped the fuck out. So there's no one to stop them from doing it. So what happens is the gods started sponsoring them specifically. It's like saying, no, you can use magic, but only through us. Essentially. And that just tremendously limited things. So it's not as big of a taboo, but you still have to go through like paperwork to actually get it done. And so what he does is he takes her into the City of the Moon, and they do actually have a warehouse of like magical things, like, what's the word? Regents? Like ingredients. Fucking ingredients. Like stuff that you use during magical spells. And so he takes her there, and she's like, oh, I can actually get things here. Okay, we're not going near the Goddess of the Moon's temple. I don't want to go near there. She killed everyone I love. I don't want anything to do that. The actually genuinely is more effective. Yes, actually. That's actually how it works. But, yeah, initially they're like, just kill everyone. And you get cults running around doing whatever the fuck they want. And they're like, actually, bureaucracy. And then everything grinds to a halt. But yeah, so she's there getting resources. It's while she's in there, in this warehouse, getting resources, that the guy insults... Because the insane guy doesn't really have an interest in magic. He's not magically inclined. He could do it if he wanted to. Like, obviously he's got a lot of magical power in him. He can activate any magical spell he wants. The magical spells in this universe have to be drawn out. So it has to be, like, actually drawn as a circle. You can't just do it. Only the gods can do that. That's why they're called miracles. He doesn't realise that he can actually do anything as a god. As the god of war. He could use the god of war's powers. He doesn't realise that he can, so he can't. Yeah, but he sucks at drawing. I mean, he can. He's got very good fine motor skills. He could draw. He just doesn't bother to learn them. It's actually that simple. Like I said, he's quite stupid. She eventually gives him a book that's got loads of magic spells in it. It's like saying that loads of magic spells in it as like a little note for him. It's quite cute. But yeah, while she's in the warehouse, like looking through stuff that she wants, while she's shopping, he's outside. It's more naivety. It's more like, in a lot of instances, it's a case of, well, I don't have to, so why would I? Like, literally, like I said, he just uses brute strength for everything. Like, he can use brute strength for everything as well. It's like a case of, I can solve this by just grabbing it and pulling, so why would I use magic? But that's basically it. And obviously, he has not got much access to magic, because all of this, they won't go and fix it. Yeah, there's also the case of all the magic knowledge, essentially, was in a library that happened to be not in the real world for hundreds of years. That also put a big damper on things. So not many people actually, even the people that do use magic, have to relearn it. Because the goddess of magic isn't helping. She's like saying, I could tell you how to do all this shit. I'm not going to, because that would make things so much worse. But while they're in there, while she's in the warehouse, that's when the guy comes up to him and insults his mother. And then he promptly murders him by, like, just full force punching him in the face against the wall, which smashes the wall. And obviously the guy's face, he's dead now. There is a corpse in the City of the Moon. And he goes into the thing, and they're like, what the fuck was that noise? And he's like, hey, we're going to go that way, in the opposite direction of the person I just killed. Obviously he doesn't say that. And she's like, no, because that's the direction of the palace of the moon. And he's like clockwork in his head. Well, let's go visit her. You know what? We should go visit her. I mean, the representative came round. I want to see if they liked my pie. We're going that way. And she's like screaming, no, absolutely not. Under no circumstances are we to go over there. And he's like, no, come on, we're going. Grabs her, lifts her, jumps off because he doesn't want her to find out that he just murdered the person for just insulting him. He doesn't feel bad about it, but he doesn't want her to know as well. That kind of thing. He's like saying, yeah, he had it coming. I don't care that I killed him. At the same time, I don't want her to not like me because I did it. He's a giant child. He's just a giant child. But no, they go to the Temple of the Moon. The Temple of the Moon is closed for business. They've shut their doors. They're very big doors as well. Like, very big. It's a very big temple. Giant. Like, if I said it's the height of a small skyscraper, and then several times that in width, it's a god's building. It's huge. And the doors are massive and made of silver. And they get in the front doors because the front hall is open to visitors. I say open to visitors. It's usually open to visitors. And there are people milling around in there still as they're trying to get compensated for something. Well, they're gods. They can't do. They are literally fundamental aspects of this world. So he goes in and he's like, this massive silver, because the colour of the goddess of the moon is silver, naturally. So there's silver shit everywhere. Silver doors, whatever. He's like, okay. Big front doors, we go through those. That's fine. This is the lobby area, essentially. It's just a giant hall. And then beyond that is where the goddess of the moon actually lives, and it's just like a giant fucking bed. You know those like conference rooms for like priests? I want to say priests. Like people who are considered divine, or like emperors, where you've got like the front area, which is lower, and it's where the person comes in and they kneel, and behind that there's a big old curtain, and there's like a raised area with cushions, and that's where the person sits. It's like that, but massive. And so what he does is he's talking to people there. He's like, okay, listen. I'm going to talk to that guard. I'm going to use the fact that I know someone important to get him to go find them. And then we're going to slip past them. We're going to go up to those doors. We're going to go in, okay? All right. And what he does is he goes and says, all right, listen, I know this person. I need you to go ask the goddess of the moon a very important question. Okay? And the guy's like, because he brings out basically the head priest. He's like, I need you to go ask her this one question. And he's like, okay, I need you to ask her, how was the pie? And the priest looks at him like he's a fucking idiot. And he's like, what? You called me out there for this? And the guy's like, listen, look at me in the eye. You fucking fool. Do you think that I'm genuinely asking how a pie was? It is a code word. You are not part of this, okay? This goes beyond you. I am operating here. Secret missions that are beyond you. It is very important that you guys see this, because she will know then who I am, and she will want to speak with me directly, so I don't have to go through you. Do you understand? And he's like, fine. I'll go say this to her. But if this is fake, you are fucked. And he's like, just go do it. And they just wait. They sneak up to the door. The big door leading to her room. And they just wait. And he goes like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kicks down the giant doors leading to her room, and she's just in there screaming. She's like, oh my god, no. Because obviously, they immediately realise who's there, and he just boots down the fucking door like he's Cusco, just going, hey, sup, bitch? How's the pie? He's having the time of his life. He thinks it's hilarious, and they're shitting themselves. He's a giant jackass. And then there's the witch. It is. And they're just going. Obviously, you've got the guy. There's the representative of the goddess of the moon, who was just like, not for real. Actually, came for your review. Yeah, actually, genuinely, he does. But no, there's the guy who got sent in there to ask the goddess the question, who is in the way of these giant skyscraper-sized doors that have just been forcefully booted the fuck in, and they're coming down. So the representative of the goddess has to jump in and grab him and get the fuck out of the way. And the goddess is actually sat at the back. The goddess is freaking the fuck out, and they're just like, now what? Now what the fuck do we do? He's like, I don't know, but he's walking in. He's like, right, how's the pie? genuinely, how was it? And they're like, it was delicious. And he looks at them and goes, I think you're just saying that because you're scared. I don't appreciate it. I'd rather have a review. But saying that, you are correct. My food is delicious. Now then, there is another issue at hand, because the witch woman is also having a really bad time, because directly in front of her is the reason why her entire family has been murdered. She's not having a good time. She's simultaneously terrified and furious. Like, she's not happy at all. The guy notices this, and he's like, you kind of have some unresolved business, don't you? And the moon goddess is like, listen, I really don't want to get into this, just please don't fucking kill me. And she's like, no, I feel like I want to go see a dead god. This late at this point, fucking go. And he's like, I feel like there should be some recompense here. At the same time, I don't want to kill you. I mean, I killed the other one, but he was attacking me. You've not attacked me, and you've not done anything for a very long time. I don't want to kill you. You're also kind of important. It would throw a massive wrench in the works, but I feel like we should do something here. And then she's like, which is like, I would like to see her punished. And he's like, okay, so here's the thing. And then he just proceeds to beat the ever-loving shit out of the goddess of the goddess of the moon. Just absolutely bodies her across the floor. And she's just like, it gets to the point where he kicks the shit out of her. She's bloody. Obviously, she's healed. She's a god. It doesn't really do much to her except hurt, which she's never experienced before, really. So, she's not enjoying herself. But at the same time, she understands that she could get fucking murdered here. So she's taking it like a champ. And he's like, right, okay, so I kicked the shit out of her. She is in pain. Are we good? Is that good enough for you? I mean, your family died. I'd be pissed. Is that good? I mean, what do you think? Looking down at broken goddess on the floor, and she's sort of like kneeling, and she's like, the goddess is like, she's the witch is sort of like, at this point, fuck it, I'm done. Like, she watches the object of her pure hatred and fear just get completely bodied, and after this, she's just like hollow. She completely emotionless, just like, I don't want to be here anymore. This is a miserable experience. I feel nothing towards the situation anymore except loss and just hopelessness. It's left, right, I've got no. Generally, she watches it happen and she just feels empty inside. Like, it's like, my entire life's purpose since my family got murdered was to wreak revenge against this person who is now lying bloody on the floor, and it's like, what am I doing? Why did I live? She's literally in the case of like, I lived for this. It's nothing. Help. Like that kind of thing. And she's like, let's just go. And he's like, okay. And the goddess of the moon, revenge isn't even worth it. Well, the goddess of the moon, you see, makes an absolutely terrible fucking mistake here. Because what she should have done is just laid on the floor in the bloody mess and just let them leave. But she, feeling like she should probably try to ingratiate herself, at least to the person who can kill gods, says thank you for sparing her. Now, the witch lady hears the object of her pure hatred, thank her for letting her go. And she's like, now I'm angry again. It's like, you know what? There is something else we can do. And cut to outside the temple, where our dear god murderer, round two, let's go. Not even that is so much worse. What he does is he just ties her up. He ties her up. He hog ties her specifically. So he hog ties her with magical energy rope. We're crucifying her. Oh no! Because what he does, he essentially hog ties her, pulls her out in front of the crowd of her supporters in her city, bound and hogtied, covered in blood, and like just dirty as fuck, and just dumps her right outside in front of everyone. And then they leave her there. And that's what they do. Reminder, she is a god that survives on faith. Her entire existence is dependent on faith. And she has just been dumped, bloody, broken, and bound in front of her entire supporter base. In her own city, after some guy walked in and just smashed down the door of her temple. She's kind of fucked. It actually gets so much worse as well. Because later on, they find out. Well, I say they find out. The guy doesn't find out, but the woman does. This is why you should never piss off a woman, by the way, because I wrote this. Like, the guy beats her up and he's like, that's it, okay, I'm done. I mean, murder, beating people up, that's kind of my thing. I don't. She gets so much more vicious. What happens is, obviously, the goddess of the moon wipes the minds of everyone involved. Everyone in the city does not remember what happened that day at all. Guys tries to aura me works every time. Well, he's done by this point. But the goddess of the moon wipes the minds of everyone in the area. But people have sort of like an inkling of what happened because everywhere they go, she tells people. Like, just sort of like minor things. It's like, here you go. She just like whispers it in people's ear. Some people don't remember something. The priests that were there, they've got a little bit of resistance to it. They kind of know what happened. So he's like, it's in your mind, you just can't remember it. People are susceptible to believing things about her now, especially the people that were there. Because it's there, you just can't remember it. And she just starts telling people that something worse happened to the goddess of the moon. And every time she sends like letters to people, like subtly, after finding out that the goddess of the moon wiped the memories of the people there. And she just starts undermining everyone's belief in the goddess over time. Like, there's a 100-year time skip between the first story and the second one, essentially, because the guy that you follow goes to other universe, goes universe hopping essentially, and you rejoin it as he comes back. And in that meantime, the city of the moon is just gone. Well, I say it's just gone. It's a ghost town. No one's there anymore, and she's alone. The goddess of the moon is just there. No one believes in her anymore. Like, very few people actually believe in her. And most of the faith, the power she gets, is given to her by the other gods out of pity. They're like, we need you around. You're kind of important. And people still sort of pray to her when she does magic, because the moon actually helps with magic. So it still gets power. But she's sort of like in an empty city that by herself that's collapsing around her. And no one cares about her. No one visits. She's very miserable. Like, people don't have proof that she was of what happened to her, but they know that something happened to her. So speculation runs fucking wild because it gets worse. Like, if people knew what had happened, is like, because obviously with the guy coming out and acting up around the world again, people start to realize, oh, there's this extremely powerful person just running around doing shit. So people put together that he did something to her. If she left it with, he beat me up and left me on the ground, that'd be fine. She killed to become a god. Would she have been able to? I don't know that she'd have been able to. I don't know if her soul would actually be able to take on the soul of a god that quickly. She does have a lot of magic power, though. That'd be a thing. But no, she's mellowing out by this point. She's actually travelled with him for a little bit right now. They don't go straight there, if I remember correctly. Maybe they do. I don't remember. It's been a while. Been a while since I wrote my own book. I don't remember what I was in. But no. Yeah, she does. She starts telling everyone important. There's like things happen to her. But because their minds were wiped, they don't know specifically that basically she got hogtied and beaten up and dropped in front of her own temple. So they start believing like more and more outlandish and terrible things, as you do. And it gets worse for her. 100 years later, when it comes back to her, like, he goes and visits them. He's like, hey, how you doing? It's been a while. How's things going on? And she's just like, do you have any idea what the fuck has happened to me in the meantime? Do you look at me? Look at everything around. This is atrocious. Look what you've done. And he's like, listen, this is all because you decided you were going to get uppity about people using your own fucking blessing. I do not give a shit. And she's like, just leave me alone. And he's like, he feels bad for them. So he teaches them how to cook. Genuinely, he teaches them how to cook. And he's like, literally, he forces them to make bread with him. Like, at sword point, he's just like, no, listen, you're going to cook with me. And they make food, and then they eat the food, and they're like, it felt kind of good making food. He's like, there you go, right? You're not going to cut it as a god. I'm going to be real with you. You don't have the... I'm going to be honest, you're kind of pathetic these days. You seem to have lost any source of like self-worth that you used to have and confidence. And she's just sort of looking at him, it's like, who the fuck's fault do you think that is? And he's like, listen, don't worry about it. You're going to cook. You're going to learn how to cook. I'm going to teach you how to cook. I'm going to come back regularly and we're going to cook together and you're going to become a really good cook and you're going to love it. And genuinely, that's what he does. And just occasionally goes back and just helps her cook. You wake up in bed, for fuck's sake, no yeah. Only 2 of the plots, like the first 2 stories, take place in this universe, and then we start following him as a universe hops. As he universe hops, because he starts universe hopping after that because this became Goddess of Baking. What the thing is, that universe that he comes from eventually dies. Like I said, it's entropy occurs, the universe just fucking disappears. They can't survive there anymore. It just all collapses. It's gone now. That universe is a grey wasteland. I mean, it's still there, but there's no one living there. There's no life there. There's no light there. There's no light there, and there's no darkness there, so it's basically like the Dark Souls universe before the fire came out. Everything's just grey. They all leave. All the gods leave. The goddess of humanity actually goes with him. Like, she takes him with her when they go to a new universe. And, yeah, they go to a new universe. I think they go to one universe where they have an actual plot line. They go to another universe which doesn't last very long. It's sort of like a short story. And they go to another universe where the goddess of humanity is like, right, this is a universe for like refugee gods, essentially. I'm staying here. I'm not leaving. You can go if you want, but I'm not leaving. So that's when he breaks from her and goes off on his own thing and picks up his own representative. It happens a long time. He waits a long time before he gets represented, because he doesn't even realise that he's a god until the first universe they leave to after his own universe. But yeah, all the gods leave. And as he's universe hopping, he does finally bump into them again. Like, the goddess of the moon and her representative have gone universe hopping as well, and they actually set up their own restaurant. That's where he bumps into them. He bumps into them in their own restaurant. Like, he gets guided there by sort of like a multiversal... I'm going to get into it now. I'm going to get into the fucking weeds. But there's a multiversal artificial intelligence. I mentioned it to you before. That's kind of cute. Yeah, I mentioned it to you before, I think, where she recreates herself, and on an automatic system, it spreads itself through different universes, through like C-Pod. I believe I mentioned it before, but basically she's like, there's someone here from one of your universes. She doesn't actually say it outright, but she's like, you should go to this universe, and you should go here. A Dungeon Menchie, like, he just likes cooking. Like, he will get annoyed with it as well. Like, he goes to their restaurant, he's sort of like there in the kitchen. Like, have you ever been in the kitchen where one of your parents is there and they decide that they're also going to be in the kitchen, bothering you about how you cook? That's how he treats her when he goes to her restaurant. He just sort of wanders into the kitchen. He's like, he's never had that experience, genuinely. Well, some people have. I've never had that experience, but I've seen my parents have that experience. I've seen my mum have that experience. It's like, someone else in your family just decides that they're coming into your kitchen now. This is their kitchen now. They're doing the cooking. It is a thing that happens. I swear to God. It's because my nans are a really good cook. But, yeah. Basically, he acts like that. He just wanders into the restaurant kitchen. Like, he goes in first, they sit down, it's like, oh, that's a weird little thing. It's got like a little moon symbol as the... It was like 1.5 moons or something. It's like a full moon, and there's like a crescent moon. That's kind of cute. And he's sat there, and then he just sees behind us, like, waitress comes out, and he's like, I recognise you. And she just sort of looks at him, and her face just slowly turns to horror. And she's like, oh my God, not you again. Runs over to the kitchen window. It's like an open thing where you can see into the kitchen behind it. And he looks over there and goes, ah. Just leaps over the fucking counter. He's like, hey! And he's got his representative there, and she's just stood there like, I don't know either of these people. I don't know you. I don't know you. Oh, but yeah, his representative, the monster, does get a human form. I say get a human form. She gets oh my God, a good kitchen equipment. She gets basically there's another major character. I say major character, another powerful character whose entire thing is seals. Like, he can make seals. He can seal people, and he can seal things, and he makes seals, and he gets very good with seals. And what? Not the animal. But what he does is he basically makes no actual seals. No actual seals. God damn it, yeah. Got you. Preempted you. But no. What he does is he makes like a little locket. It's literally a padlock on a chain that she wears around her neck, and while she's got that on, she looks human. Like, it literally, her body is larger than a human's, so her body literally snaps down into like a human shape. And now she is a human. He makes several things. He's very good at making them. I should throw a seal on you. Fook, one cock. Seal, my rooster. But yes. Téléfoncé. Téléfoncé. But yeah, he's actually split into two parts. I don't know if I mentioned it before. He's a weird gun because he's many people in one. There's two major ones. One of them does blood stuff. One of them's a hematologist. The other one does seals. Very good at sealing things. But yeah. So she's just sat there in human form, just watching the sunfold. It's like, I don't know any of these people. I don't know you. I don't know you. But clearly, he does. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. Because she's still a monster. She's just sat there, silently observing. I really like seals on seals. Just draw one on it. It is 8:30. I have done nothing. When did I get to this point in the game? How long have I sat here just talking? Because I'm going to have to go now. I did one battle and then came here and that's it. I mean, really quickly. Spit it. Throw it at me. Real quick. Before I have to go. Because I should be in bed already, really. Problems of getting up at 4:30 in the morning. You've got to go to bed early. It's Friday tomorrow. Thank God it's Friday tomorrow. I've got to swap trucks tomorrow. Fuck. It isn't like the Mason area. Yeah, the Mason's Guild. We'll get into the Mason's Guild. The Mason's Guild looks like a church. It's kind of cool. That does look like masonry equipment. This is one of the passages of being into horror and eldritch people. Okay. Okay, yeah. Zombie Girl is like, please make me feel something. And she's like, oh, I can make you feel something, alright. Oh dear. I have a sort of zombie character, but he's not okay. You don't want it. You don't. No. When I say he's a zombie character, I mean he's more of a necromancer. I've got two necromancer characters. One of them's like a good spiritual necromancer. The other one's a physical necromancer, in that he likes to get physical with the necromantic bodies. He's not okay. He's another. I wouldn't even call him a villain character, but he's just really icky and gross. He doesn't do anything evil. He's just really icky. Actually, I just want to find out how the fuck she come and what like her other family members too. Fair. Fair enough. Hey, I don't want to die. Essentially. I want to be with you. Jack's just there like, this is really weird for me. I've got my daughter and my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter dating. I don't know how I feel about this. Also, it's kind of weird, you know. It's like from a cowboy ears. I mean, like, I was okay with women liking women when they weren't women I was related to. I can't get off on this. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm a good Christian man. No. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that he can't. He can't now. He was okay. He was okay with it before when it was women that he didn't know. He's like, yeah, that's kind of hot. He doesn't know how he feels about it when it's two women that he's related to. He's just stood there at the sidelines just going, I'd rather you didn't talk about this around me, it's very awkward. I'd just rather you took this somewhere else, please. Like, I don't know what to do about this, and I don't know how I feel about it. I want you both to be happy, just, you know, somewhere else. Oh, the zombie girl. Hey. Well, I mean, in a way. Well, one of them, yeah. There you go. I'm fucked. My brain, I'm tired. It's past my bedtime. Yeah, we're gonna have to do this tomorrow. What did I actually do today? What time did I stop? 7 o'clock. An hour and a half. I've been sat here talking for at least an hour and a half. Yeah, I guess so. He looks at Jessica and he's like, that one's related to me. No good. He looks at the zombie girl. That one doesn't have half of a body. No good. Damn it. So yeah. You two go be happy. I just like the idea of him being supportive, but also really awkward about the whole situation. Like he wants them to be happy. He just doesn't know how to deal with it. He's just sat there like, Good for you. Oh dear. Right, yeah, I'm gonna call it a day there. My brain's cooked. Oh dear. Right. Thank you for watching. Am I the cause of every family of the monster kills? No, monster kills are just hot. Come on. You get the girl part, and you get the allure of the different. There you go. What's not to love? That's it. That's how it works. Fair enough. Right. Yep. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Stay safe. Have a good day. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. Tomorrow we should do more than very little. We did like an hour's worth of game in 2 hours and 40 minutes of stream. I can talk when I want to. I can rattle on for a long time.